If you get a big bump in your Social Security deposit, you need to report that to Covered California. Hello, I am Kevin Canals with InsureMeKevin.com, an independent health insurance agent, and also a Covered California certified insurance agent. And part of the calculations for the income to receive the subsidies is the inclusion of Social Security retirement benefits. Even if those Social Security retirement benefits for you or your spouse are not taxable, they must be included. And many of you may have heard that President Joe Biden signed the Social Security Fairness Act in early January. And that can be substantial. And for many people in Covered California, they may get a boost to their Social Security benefits. And if you're not paying attention, you may have to repay a bunch of subsidy. So the Social Security Fairness Act, it eliminated some really draconian, sadistic provisions that just lowered people's Social Security retirement benefits. The first one is the windfall elimination provision, a very complicated kind of calculation for reducing someone's Social Security. I read through it, I didn't completely understand it. The one that is significant and is fairly straightforward, the second provision that is being done away with the Social Security Fairness Act, is the government pension offset. And what the government pension offset rule says is that if you receive a government pension, 2/3 of that pension you receive must lower any Social Security retirement benefit you may be eligible for. So the example they give is someone who has a $3,000 government pension, they must lower the Social Security retirement benefit by $2,000. So if the Social Security retirement benefit is less than $2,000, you get zero of that. And there's a lot of people in that situation. Now, Social Security, they knew this was coming, but this is fairly large in terms of they're going to have to reach out to people that they know have had their Social Security reduced. They're going to have to be talking to other people that may have not applied because they didn't think they were going to get anything. So this may not all get put together until later in 2025. And then maybe at the end of 2025 or maybe in the middle, people are going to get a big check because this is retroactive to January 2024. So if you don't get a check until December, you're going to be getting a bunch of back payments. And that needs to be reported to Covered California, or you have to reconcile it with your taxes, which means you may have to owe excess subsidy. But let's take a look at a couple and see how this all works. We have Jan and David. Jan is retired and has Medicare, but David is 63 and has Covered California. So Jan is an engineer and he worked in the private sector for many, many years, paid the Social Security taxes, then transitioned to a government agency as an engineer and retired after 20 years and is receiving a government pension. David doesn't have any income. So when we look at what that spreadsheet looks like for the purposes of Covered California, we can see that the monthly income, government pension of $3,000 for a total annual income of $36,000. So $36,000 in this particular zip code, household of two, but only one enrolled in a Covered California health plan. The subsidy for David is $1,736 for an annual subsidy over those 12 months of $20,832. Now, President Biden signs the Social Security Fairness Act, and David is going to get a Social Security retirement check because his pension, that 2/3, offset what he was eligible for before he went to work in the public sector. So if we take Jan's income, $3,000, plus that Social Security of $1,000, that's what I'm estimating he was going to be eligible for on a monthly basis. Total income of $48,000. So income up, subsidy down. If Jan doesn't get this $12,000 check until December, they're going to have to reconcile the increased income when they do their taxes. So the subsidy repayment may look something like this. With the low income of $36,000, they had a total annual subsidy for David of $20,832. At the higher income of $48,000, they're only eligible for $19,580, which means they must repay $1,251. Now, obviously, if people knew about this increase in January, they could account for it, and that would lower the subsidies, wouldn't have to pay anything back. Of course, people have received a 2.5% cost of living allowance for Social Security retirement benefits, and that should be included. But some people may not be receiving any Social Security at all, but they will once Social Security completely implements the Social Security Fairness Act. So this may be down the road, but I wanted to give people a heads up that it can impact significantly your covered California income and may trigger a repayment of excess advanced premium tax credit subsidies when you do your income taxes for 2025. So if you have any questions or comments, you may leave those down below and I will do my best to answer them. Otherwise, for InsureMeKevin.com, I'm Kevin Knaus.